Hi FlossTube Stitchers. My vintage stitch for this week is actually a freebie that I stitched. I'm not sure in what year because I don't even remember doing it. Of course, after I looked at it, I realized that we had done it in kit form, and then it all came back to me. But anyway, it's by Glory B. I only stitch on days that end in Y, and I just thought that was so cute, and I knew people would want to stitch it. The colors were pretty popular at that time. They're gentle art, but of course you could choose to do it in whatever colors you wanted. We kitted it with just the yardage necessary to stitch it, so it wasn't too much of a big deal if you wanted to change something and then use that floss for something else. We stitched it on 28 lamb's wool Joblin from Witchelt, which is a really popular neutral. And of course, my friend Bonnie at Valley Framing chose a really interesting frame, and then we put a little fillet in there. There are some specialty stitches, so it was a good way for people to try some different stitches and not spend a lot on the project since it was a freebie. And I did find my notes from when we kitted it, and apparently back then I had put a little stitching planner or a yearly planner. I don't remember what year or what month we put it out in, but maybe it was like at the end of the year or January. Maybe it was a monthly planner. We didn't have any planners left, so I don't remember what it was. But we condensed the colors a little bit. There were 2 blues and 2 browns, and the 2 blues, according to my notes, were either too close together or they didn't coordinate anymore because the dye lots had changed. And the same thing with I think the browns were too close together and it looked like the same color anyway, so why not just use the same color? But anyway, I like keeping all my notes so that we could do it again. So I'm going to start sending those with mail orders. I'm gonna do it for October, or yeah, I was gonna start with Halloween in October, but actually not everybody does Halloween, so I'll probably do that with that acorn chart that I showed last time. So I'll probably put those 2 together, and that's what I'll send with mail orders. But if you want it in the future, just make a note. It's called I Only Stitch by Glory B, and just let me know that you want that in your package next time. Okay, so I'm actually not stitching on any days that end in Y right now because on August 3rd, this happened. So the dark shadowy part is water damage, and 2 of our units were affected. It probably was a cracked pipe that eventually broke during all the torrential rainstorms we had in this area at the end of July and beginning of August. There were like 4 big storms within a 10 to 14 day period, so it was kind of intense. And the card shop next door had experienced quite a bit of puddling over there, and they couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And the landlords, they weren't looking in the right direction. They were looking at the roof. They were looking at everything but underneath the building. And it turned out to be, a plumbing issue. But all of those spots on the carpet, not the big shadowy area, but the spots, are not part of that water damage. That was something that started happening 3 to 4 years after we moved into this place. We moved about, I think it was May of 2014, so 10 years. And it was previously being renovated for another tenant, and they ended up deciding that it wasn't the right size for them. And so my landlords had kind of stopped working on it. And one day I just decided to be nosy and ask what was going on. And they said, oh, well, I guess it's open now and we have to find another tenant. And at that time I had been thinking of downsizing. I had too many fixtures, too many tables, and not enough business to warrant the extra rent that I had been paying for 15 years. So I was looking to downsize and condense some things. And as it turned out, that tenant ended up moving into my old place. So it worked out really well for the landlords and for us because we were all right here in the same strip mall anyway, so it was easy to coordinate things. But anyway, they started the renovation, so I didn't pick anything out. I don't know who painted. I don't know where the carpet came from. It was all being started for somebody else. Nobody remembered who did the carpet. Nobody took responsibility for it. But it started happening about 3 to 4 years after I moved in. And it was in the high traffic areas, and it just kept getting worse. It didn't look like that. I went back and looked at pictures, and you could see it slowly happening, but it really wasn't that obvious until the last couple years. Really, it was a source of embarrassment to me because it could not be cleaned. Several carpet people gave me some ideas of what it could have been, and based on the type of business that was in here before, it really couldn't have been any industrial gunk that was left on the floor. So somebody suggested that they could have cheated and used the wrong, cheaper glue when they put the carpet down. It also was super thin carpet. So anyway, it was a $2,000 job, and what small business owner has $2,000 left over? I need to pay my rent and utilities. I need to order merchandise. I need to go to the Nashville needlework market, So I just kept thinking one of these days, I'm going to have to replace this carpet because it's just really embarrassing. You can't put rugs down. There's just so many things you can't do in a business that would be a hazard for tripping. So this water issue was really a pain in the butt for the last 2 months because it was so much work to pack everything up and keep it sorted and organized along the way. But it gave me my carpet that I felt I deserved. So anyway, I haven't been stitching at all. Okay, that was my carpet story and my vintage stitch. Then I'm going to show you the September monthlies because it's September 29th and I need to move on to another, not another season, but another month, another holiday. So we'll get the first one out of the way, the biggest one. We'll get that one out of the way first. So this is Cross Stitch Wonders, and it's their Mug of the Month series. So this is September, and I'm trying to show it so there's not a whole lot of glare. This is one of those that Carol Leonard puts in and out of 2 different frames. She has a brown one and a black one. And she just, the glass stays in and the backing board stays in, and there's turn buttons on the back, so it's really easy to switch them out. So that is Cross Stitch Wonders. And then the Bent Creek Monthly Snapper series for September. It says September Brings, which is, we're not getting a whole lot out of our garden right now, but we have still been making pesto. So I guess it depends on where you live in the country to see if September's really still bringing you things. But I thought that was cute. And then the last one is Primrose Cottage Stitches, their 9-patch series. And this is September. Is this September? Did I put the right one in here? Now that's interesting. Oh yes, you know what? For the longest time I thought that this one was August and that the B one was something from the spring, but when I really looked it up, yes, because October is definitely Halloween. Sorry, I'm not going to edit that. Alrighty. We usually have all of those things in stock if you're interested in any of those monthlies. And then the other thing that's been going on was the Medina Needlework Guild. It's hard to say it all in one sentence. Their needle art show, the 41st, I think it was. And I wanted to show you Bonnie's ribbons because 2 of the pieces are old enough that the charts are no longer available or very hard to find. And so I'm not going to use those as shop models, and I want to give those back to her the next time she comes in. So let's see, I'm doing this in order of the entry number. So 80 is Blue Sky Sampler. from Elizabeth's Designs. Lots of fun specialty stitches, beautiful fabric, very interesting frame job. And she got a, sorry, this isn't I don't have it hanging. And I kept the tag on it because this is what I'm giving back to her. So that is Blue Sky Sampler, and she got an 87 out of 100, which put her in the second place category. And she, what's interesting is she got a lot of nice comments about her stitching. They said it was consistent, beautiful work. Maybe her eyelet holes weren't all perfect. So we both looked at it and went, gee, we're happy with them, but you know, they have to find something to critique, I guess. And actually, some of the points were taken off of finishing, which we always find fascinating because of course she loves the way she finishes. It's her style. And I feel like she always does what's good for the piece. And I liked it too, but it's, you know, maybe not everybody's taste. So that was Blue Sky Sampler. Then the next one, number 81, is, this is one I'm going to keep for a while. So this is 'Tis a Gift from Shepherd's Bush. Just every time I look at it, I see something different. Really sweet. And of course, I love the framing. It's very interesting without being over the top. And this one, she got a 92. And there were some threads that were carried, and we looked at it and we went, well, what else would you do with them? You can't do like one pin stitch. I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Like, you know, you carry the best you can over a very short area. And I don't think you could see on camera what we're talking about. We actually had to really look to see where are the carried threads. But again, it's okay. Like, neither of us enter to win ribbons. We actually entered to support the show and also to, you know, it's free advertising for both the shop and the frame business. So, but then we just, you know, we have to just nitpick a little bit over the comments because we can, and we're human, and we're just teenage girls inside. So, yeah, excellent tension. Her satin stitches were good, and just some carrying threads. And points were taken off for the finishing. Go back and look at that finishing again. Come on. All right, then the next one is, you've already seen, I think I've already shown this to you when she first finished it, but this is Autumn Splendor from With Thy Needle and Thread. And one of the reasons why she chose to enter this is because it's finished a little bit differently. She kind of made it into a shadow box. It is a very deep frame from Eastside Moldings, and she put black mat board inside on around all four sides. So it, you know, it makes a really cool shadow box, and she thought that would be fun. So it's also part of the reasons why I chose what I did to enter was because I thought the finishing was different, or they were on different counts of fabric, and I didn't want everything to be, you know, the same. So that she got a first place on. Because it stands up, there's no screw eye and wire on the back, so that's why the ribbon's not attached to that. And she got a 99 out of 100 on that. 1 point off on workmanship, but no reason why. Then the last piece that she entered was something that she had done for her mom, and I want to say she reframed it recently, and that's why she entered it. This particular club does not say that anything has to be done with it within a certain time period, and there's no dates on most of the things that Bonnie does anyway. She couldn't even remember when she stitched it, but we always feel like as long as it's, you know, as long as it's fairly current and it's not been entered in a show before, especially, you know, you shouldn't enter the same show with the same piece twice. You know, we're following their rules because it isn't one of their rules. And so I think she had updated the framing maybe. I can't remember. Anyway, it's called A Mother's Heart by Just Nan. And she did get a blue on this. And this is a linen fillet. It's not a frame. Up close, you know, it just looks like a little bit deeper shade of beige linen. And on that piece, she got 97 and all good comments. So, you know, nothing to learn there. Okay, so that was the show. If you missed it, it was the last video that I posted called Needle Art Show. But beware, if you haven't watched it yet, it also has crochet and knitting and quilting and punch needle and other surface embroidery and plastic canvas, and it has a beadwork. It has a lot of other things in it. So if you're not as interested in seeing the whole show, you could kind of scoot through it, but the cross stitch is not in all in one place because I photographed it as a table, which they had done by themes, and then I did each piece. So there could have been every type of needlework on the same table. It's not how they were judged, it's how the show was set up. So if you're not interested in watching that much, then I'm going to try to show you a few things in these subsequent videos. I think I'll save my stuff for next time. Okay, so those were her 4 pieces for the show. And then next, what do I have? Yep, I did all that. Okay, so the last order that I had coming from Needlework Marketplace, it actually came a little bit ago, but I didn't do a talking video last week, so that's why I haven't shown it yet. It came from Cherry Blossoms, and I know that earlier on social media I did an entire collage of just her design, so you may have seen all these, you know, or from other people. But she had somehow, maybe whoever was helping her pack her orders, they missed putting Hello Pumpkin in my order. So I wanted to wait until I had the full order to show you. So this was I think this was my favorite of hers. I don't really have a decorated sewing room. When I did, it was patriotic anyway. So a lot of her things have to do with quilting and sewing. So I think this was my favorite of hers. But it's really, it's a good value for $12. You get this design, and then there's a bonus design on the back that she shows on one of those mini plaid bags. And the backing thing and the fabric, I think, is all available from Cherry Blossoms Quilting. So some of you who are quilters or who have friends that are quilters might have already known about Cherry. So anyway, if you would like this chart with 3 designs in it, just use pumpkin someplace in your comment. All right, then she also had some winter pieces. This is called Cherish. I'm sorry, that was 12 if you couldn't see it. This is 12. I need to look at the price first before I hold it up. Now they're all going to be 12 after I said that. Snow Day. I really like this one too. I think I would stitch this, maybe not in the teal fabric, maybe in more of a blue that goes in my house. But then again, I do have some pieces with teal, so I'll have to gather all my snow things together and see which would be a good background for that. That was done on mint Belfast linen from Fiber on a Whim. And this is a slightly darker shade of teal, Juniper 32 count linen from Fabrics by Stephanie. I've had this one and it's a really pretty color. So the other one I think is just a bit lighter. And these are the Vintage Ornaments set 1. So if you like them, she'll be doing more. And you get all 3 designs in there. And then she also has available the ornament that comes in 3 pieces, and she tells you how to put it together. And this is also $12. All right, then the rest of these I think are all the sewing related ones. And are they all 12? They're all 12 except for the big one. Stitching Makes My Heart Sing. Now, if your sewing room or family room or bedroom or whatever aren't these colors, it certainly would be easy to change, but she does kind of use the same semi-bright springy colors throughout the whole set. This is Heart Song Minis. pin keeper. And is this backdrop from her? Yes, the wooden spool backer is also from her. And this is called Therapy. And the big one is Oh So Happy. All right, then the other thing we got, I don't always show this because it's very awkward to try to figure out how to charge for shipping for these. If anybody gets one of these magazines from somebody other than the publisher, would you please tell me next time how much they charged you for shipping? So we got the Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher magazine, the fall issue in, and it's a $10 magazine. And the last time somebody asked me to mail this magazine to them, I said, I really don't know if I can, because I've gotten estimates before and it's just not worth it. And sure enough, they said it would be between $8 and $9. And I was only mailing it a couple states away, not across the world. So it seems awkward for me. I'm making less than $5 on it because I had to pay shipping on a whole box of them. So I'm making less than $5. And if I'm only charging you $3.50, which is my kind of standard, if it doesn't fit in a flat envelope and go at a large envelope rate, or you're not spending at least $50 with me, then my standard fee would be $3.50, which actually, by the way, I think I've only charged 2 people this year. You guys seem to be figuring out how to do it and get free shipping, which is great. But it's very confusing to me. I don't know whether the publisher gets a different rate because it's coming from the publisher. I don't know what she charges. If you get a subscription, maybe you get it free. I don't know how that works, but anyway, if somebody wanted this and can't get it locally at their grocery store or bookstore, if you don't have a local shop, if you can't get it and you want to throw this onto a future order that's $50 or more, then I would include it for free shipping. Okay, that was, sorry, every once in a while I just have to say that because I get a lot of questions about it and I feel really silly that I can't manage to do it. But why would you pay $8 or $9 to get a $10 magazine? It's just, in the States, like it just doesn't make sense. Anyway, my favorite one from this magazine is Crochet Go-Go. And I feel like I say that every time. I just love that design. I love her hair, her weird colored hair. And it's just very cute. And the little cat and her cute little shoes. I love it. Anyway, so that's the fall issue of the magazine. And then I wanted to talk a little bit about my backdrop. So I just moved this camera angle a little bit sideways to show you that one, of course we had to redecorate when we got the new carpet. So very few things went in exactly the same place. Some of the big things are within inches, or maybe a foot, but most of the big things are, they kind of had to go because that's how the space was designed in the first place. But we really tried to think of how to make it easier for customers to shop. And one of the issues that I've been hearing most often is that people didn't know that you were allowed to look through the fabric. So over here where this white bookshelf is, it used to be a stack of plastic bins with drawers. And they were like, they were big, they were deep, there was a lot of fabric in them. And they were all labeled for what count they were. So there was one for 25 and 28 Lugana, an entire one of 32 Lugana, one bin for 28 linen, and then 2 bins for 32 linen, neutral and colors. So it was 5 high on one side, and then I think there were only 4 next to it. And I would offer to people, if I was busy with another customer, I would say, go through the 32 bin and see if you, but it seemed awkward, but I really didn't have a lot of other choices. The hutch behind me has built-in cubbies in the bottom, and one of these days when it's really all back together, trust me, it's not yet, it looks pretty good compared to what it looked like on Tuesday. but it's not, but someday I'll do a video and show you. But there's cubbies in the bottom for fabric, and therefore they were for different things that maybe people didn't ask for that often, and that I maybe only had a few yards of, so they were tucked into different cubbies. So there's another one of those on the other side, and it looks really nice. It kind of looks like an extension, even though it's a different color, it looks like an extension of the fabric hutch. And that is all thanks to my friend Irene R. You've heard me talk about her because she's given me some really wonderful little stitchy kindness gifts over the last couple of years. Anyway, it was her idea, and her friend, who I think just got back into stitching, had mentioned to her that she felt awkward going through the fabric. And so I've heard that a couple times, and I thought, yeah, it's been something that I've wanted to change, but I didn't know what to do. Well, when you have to clean out your entire store, that's when you make decisions. Do I need this here? Can I throw it away? Can I donate it? And so I got rid of all of those bins. Some of them were thrown away because they were really cracked in places because the fabric on top of it was really heavy. And some of them are going to go in a stack at home because I had the same thing at home, which is why I use them here, because I thought they were really good. They were clear drawers. You could see what was in there. Anyway, I think this is going to work out so much better. I hope customers shopping will be able to see. Of course, there's no labels on the shelves yet. I'm still working on trying to figure that out. But you'll see soon, and I'll give you a better view of what it looks like with both sides. So that's one of the big things that we changed, was the fabric. It was definitely a priority. It's what we probably spent the most time on. I actually think that four or five of us worked on the fabric over the course of a couple days, just sorting it differently. I would love for all the fabric to be in the same size plastic bag, but it doesn't come that way. And so then it requires you to refold it, and then it just makes more creases in it. So someday I'll figure that out. But for right now, I'm just glad that I don't come in every day and all the fabric's on the floor. Because you know how slippery plastic bags are? It was one of my worries. But that hasn't happened yet, so we're good to go there. Okay, I think that was it for today. So just put pumpkin in your comment if you want that chart. And thanks for sticking with me. I've been very inconsistent in answering messages. There hasn't been a whole lot of mail order. Most of what I have to go out right now are marketplace orders where I was still waiting for one thing, and then things that people have won. And I'm trying to do it efficiently and not go to the post office every day with one little package. So I appreciate everybody's patience, and we'll get there. The tour starts on Friday, October 11th, and we're going to be done by then. Yep, I promise you. Well, we have to be done by then. So there you go. Okay, we will see you next week. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.